Hey guys, and welcome to another Escape Wheel watch review. Today we're going to be looking at the Pagani design PD1690. This is a brand new release as of about a month ago, maybe less. I'm one of the first ones to get my hands on it and get you guys a review. I did do an unboxing of it. I'll leave that up here, but it was kind of a disaster, so I would just skip it. We'll cover everything in that unboxing in this video and in more detail. So you can pick this up from the Pagani Design AliExpress store. I think the retail on it was $119. When it first came out, it was on sale for $109, I believe, and it's currently on sale below $87. So, and I think for that, it's an excellent value. Pagani Design always gets the value proposition correct, and then when they kind of nail the design and the size of it, they deserve some credit here. I mean, this is a great watch, great everyday watch, and I think for anything under $100, you're going to be extremely happy with it. So for your hard-earned money, you get a solid 316L stainless steel case, screw-down crown, 200 meters of water resistance, a solid stainless steel bracelet, sapphire crystal, and a Seiko NH35 automatic. So we'll kind of touch base on all this stuff throughout the review. So yeah, I think we should jump right in. I do just want to mention, this does come in this champagne silver color, and it also comes in black and blue. So a couple options there, but let's get right into the dimensions. And this is one of my sticking points with Pagani Design. They need to get their dimensions correct. So I've measured this thing multiple times. It's listed as 38 millimeters on their site and all the listings, but I am not getting 38 millimeters. 39.7, I keep getting that. 38.7 on the actual bezel, but the case does protrude just ever so slightly, so it's pretty darn close to 40 millimeters. The thickness is 11.5 millimeters. The lug width is 20 millimeters. The overall lug to lug is 49.2 millimeters. And with those male protruding end links, you have 52.3 millimeters. So it's a little bit long. You know, they're Submariner style, the PD1661. I believe it's like 47 millimeters. So they could have toned down that lug to lug just a little bit. I think it would have made this thing a lot more wearable for a lot more people. I really wish they would have just shrunk it down to make it 38 millimeters, but here we are. So that's the dimensions. I do think it's going to fit a large range of wrists, and I do like the way that it wears. It does have a little bit of curve down to the lugs there, but it's also a little bit slab-sided. They could have toned down the thickness of that mid case a little bit and just had the case back protrude just a slight bit more. Might have made it look a little bit nicer, I think. But yeah, overall, it does look pretty good. So I'm going to go outside and throw it on my wrist. And here it is on my 7.5 inch wrist. Looking really good. That 49 millimeters is perfectly wearable for myself. Maybe not for others, but for me it is. Sorry about the noise, guys. Got neighbors getting a new roof, so hopefully it's not too bad. But you can see there, curves down nicely. It does sit really flat. The case back doesn't protrude much, so the case sides are like right on your skin. It's very comfortable still though, and yeah, I've got no real complaints, and unfortunately no sun today, but yeah, you can see the anti-reflective coating doesn't really show like it's working there, but it's definitely worse on camera than it is in real life, and you can see it kind of just disappears when it gets to this angle here, and that just looks awesome. But I'm gonna go throw it on a couple straps and then we'll get back to the review. And here it is on a rubber B style strap. Looks pretty good, I think. Gives it a little bit more sporty feel to it, but yeah, it looks really good. It doesn't quite fit perfect on those lugs just because of the difference in case sizes, but yeah, I still think it looks really good on this rubber B style strap. We'll throw it on one more strap and get back to the review. And here we are on a vintage Vario strap. It's got a nice taper to the strap, and I think it just looks great on this. Kind of brings out the dial color on it a little bit more. Yeah, looking really good. Sorry about all the noise. But let's go back inside and get back to the review. Alright, so let's talk about the case finishing on this thing. Super simple case finishing. It is 100% polished bezel. You've got polished case sides, polished lugs. You do have a sign crown at 3 o'clock. It's unguarded, so no crown guards there. Again, completely polished. The back side of the watch is completely brushed, circular brushing. The case back on this, it's really nicely done. I'm going to pop up a nice shot for you. It's got a picture of, I guess, some mountains and the Pagani design logo kind of encircled in, like, I guess it's cross ice picks. I think it looks pretty good. And again, it's nicely done. It's not a display case back, but now we get 200 meters of water resistance, so that's nice to see. The crystal on this actually really nicely done. So it is a flat piece of sapphire crystal. You do have a nice chamfer. It sits ever so slightly above the bezel there. And the first for me, I believe, and first for Pagani, is it actually has anti-reflective coating on the underside. And it's not that glaring blue AR coating that you see on steel dives. It's a nice clear AR coating, and it looks wonderful. I mean, kudos to Pagani Design for using really good anti-reflective coating on this thing. Yeah, I'm very happy with the crystal on this thing. It kind of disappears in certain lighting. So, yeah, really happy with that. Thank you. So the dial on this, we're going to zoom way in. So like I mentioned, this is I guess it's listed as silver gray on the site, but it's definitely a champagne kind of color. Very light champagne color, but definitely isn't just straight silver. It does have a nice sunburst effect, as you can see there. And it looks really good. I'm very happy with the dial color. There's enough contrast with the white indices and the champagne dial background there that I think it looks really good, and it's completely legible. And yeah, I've got no problems with the dial on it. It looks really good. You do have a black printed minute track around the outside with black squares at all the hour markers except 6 o'clock here. We'll talk about that in a second. You do have the black Pagani Design logo and Pagani Design under the 12 o'clock position. And then you have PE time. It's not PT time. It's not P time. It is PE time. And that is directly from Pagani Design. It has no meaning at all. It's just there for balance. I wish they would either get rid of that or make it useful in some way. I don't know how, but yeah, just do something other than just put random text on a dial, I think. It doesn't look bad, but I would just prefer something else. And then you have automatic 20 bar, 200 meter below that. And then down at the 6 o'clock position is something new I haven't seen. It says Japan movement, and it has the Pagani Design shield. So that's kind of interesting. Nicely done, I think. And then at the 3 o'clock position, you do have a nicely framed date window. I mean, not framed, but chamfered date window. Yeah, it looks really good. Indexes, I think everything is aligned perfectly. I see no alignment issues whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, it just looks good. And another first for Pagani Design, I believe, is that the hands and the indices are all filled with actual BGW9 lume. So it's not that dark blue lume that you see on the Pagani Designs. It's an ice blue lume. I'm going to pop up a lume shot right now. You can see it against the San Martin sub on the left, which obviously just dominates. And then you've got the older Pagani Design Black Bay on the right side, and then the far right you have the Escapement Time Flieger. So that kind of gives you a baseline of how good this lume is. Unfortunately, the video doesn't really show too good. After 45 minutes or so, I brought this Pagani and the other Pagani back into that same dark room, and I could definitely read the 1690 better than the Black Bay. So I'd say the lume is a solid like 7. If the San Martin is a 10 out of 10, the Pagani Design is a solid 7 out of 10. So really happy they're using decent lume on these things finally. All right, let's talk about the movement inside. So I mentioned earlier, it's a Seiko NH35. You can see it's operated by a screw down crown at the 3 o'clock position. It is a nicely signed, Pagani Design logo on it. Plenty of grip. Get a nice satisfying pop out when it disengages from the threads. First position is hand winding. The second position changes the date. And the third position does hack the movement, and then you can set your time. So, this is Seiko NH35. It's in a bunch of watches. It's cheap. It's reliable. 6 ticks per second of that second hand, and 40-hour power reserve. So it's an excellent movement, and I think a perfect movement for this watch. Let's talk about the bracelet real quick. So this is your typical Pagani design bracelet. It's a 3-link Oyster, solid links, solid end links, as you can see there. Milled clasp. It's your typical Pagani design clasp. It is signed here. You got brushing on the top of the clasp as well as on the top of the links, and then everything on the side is polished here. So it looks pretty good. I almost wish they would have put in polished middle links on this, just because the case is polished. But I don't mind. I don't mind the look, I guess. I think this actually might look pretty good on a Jubilee style bracelet as well. So just food for thought, Pagani. As far as the integration goes with the case, the links are in there, very solid. I actually had problems removing the spring bars in this thing. It's so tight. So yeah, they got the tolerances really nice on those. You know, like I mentioned, it's your typical Pagani design bracelet. If you've had one of their Submariner homages or their Daytona homages, I'm almost positive it's the same bracelet. So nothing really wrong with it. I had no problems sizing it. I had to remove 3 links for my 7.5-inch wrist. My big problem with it is the clasp. And this one, I've got a couple quality control issues. So if you missed my unboxing video, I cut myself opening this up for the first time. So it has loosened up, but man, that edge right there is super sharp. So yeah, it got under my thumbnail here and I was bleeding in that video. So yeah, just be aware. But it has since loosened up just a little bit. It could be better. But it's your typical Pagani design clasp. It's a 3-piece, milled middle, all polished here. You kind of got a satin finish here. Yeah, it looks fine. On the inside, let's see if I can show you. You see those little divots on the inside there? Those are micro adjust. So you do have 3 micro adjust in here. And then you also have a sweaty day extension. But this one is completely, like, I tried to pry this open and I couldn't get it open. So I stuck a screwdriver in there and tried to pry it open. And you can see I bent the spring bars there. So I don't know if this thing will ever pop open, but oh, there we go. I got it. Holy smokes. First time. But yeah, that was way tighter than it should be. So that was another quality control issue, but I'm glad I finally got it open. So hopefully that kind of loosens it up a little bit. Let's see if I can snap it together. I'm not even going to try. Not even going to try. So yeah, I think the bracelet is fine. If you've had one Pagani, you kind of know what to expect. And it's not a bad bracelet. It's got its little quirks, but yeah, before I forget, it does start at 20 millimeters and does taper down to 16 at the clasp. So nice taper, and it's comfortable. I've got no problems with the bracelet. But yeah, I think that's about it. Let's talk about some quality control issues. So I'm not sure if this is a quality control issue, but I'm going to pop up a macro. But you can see in between the lugs, just on the bottom at the 6 o'clock position, in between the lugs, very rough finishing. Very, very rough finishing. I saw that and I immediately thought that this was an alloy case that was plated, but it's not. It's stainless steel case. I can assure you it's stainless steel. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Another quality control issue, obviously, the 2 issues with the clasp. Hopefully those will work themselves out. This is the first time I've actually had a problem with the clasp. Otherwise, it's it's fine. It's a little bit sharp on the bottom edges here, but otherwise it's fine. But other than that, no other quality control issues. Outside of the watch itself, I did get this in the box, so that's kind of cool. We got a it looks like the screwdriver missed a machining step, so I just wanted to throw that in there. Kind of funny. But yeah, I think that's about it. If you guys want to see some more pictures of this, be sure to check out my Instagram channel. If you want to buy this, I will be leaving an affiliate link down below. It doesn't cost you any extra. I'd say buy it now if you're going to get it, because it's on sale for an excellent price, $86 or something like that. So I say hop on it now and get it while you can for what I think is an excellent price. I'm actually tempted to get the black dial version of this. If you guys liked the video, found it useful, or found it helpful, leave me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. I think only like 5 or 6% of my viewers are subscribers. So if you could subscribe, please do so. I would really, really appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I will do my absolute best to get back to you guys. I think that's about it. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.